In a previous video, we stated that when you're asked to make a conclusion, a softer conclusion is more likely to be true. So, when we compare these two examples, we see that one statement concludes, "I will probably do fine on this exam," and the other concludes that "I certainly won't have any trouble on this exam." The words probably and fine are soft, which makes the top argument easier to be true. There's another reason why the top argument is better, and that has to do with the reason. The reason is also stronger. The argument says, "I've never had any trouble with standardized tests." So the golden rule is that if a question asks you to weaken or strengthen an argument, they're asking you for a reason, which means you want strong language in your reason if possible, and you want to avoid soft language. You can imagine that if you went to a doctor and he said, "We should have the surgery because it might help, and some of my patients have survived," you're probably not going to agree to the surgery. You would feel more comfortable if the doctor said, "It will help, and all of my patients have survived." In other words, you feel better with strong reasons and evidence. There are some words that may seem strong, but they're probably not as strong as you might think. So you want to be very literal on exactly what they mean. For example, most means 51%. Many means 2 or more, often means 2 or more, and usually and probably both mean about 50% or more. So even though a word like usually might sound strong, in context it's probably not as strong as you might want for a good reason. Because if I tell my wife I'm a really good husband, I usually don't hire prostitutes, that probably isn't going to be strong enough to help my marriage. I would want to say something like, "I never hire prostitutes." Let's see how this works with an actual problem. This question asks us to weaken the argument, which means we're looking for a reason, and generally stronger reasons are better. Our first step is to identify the conclusion. In this case, they've made it easy with the word "thus." So our conclusion is that this type of device will not significantly aid in controlling the dangerous mosquito population. And the reason the argument gives is that over a 24-hour period, of the 300 insects killed, only 12 were mosquitoes. So since it only killed 12 mosquitoes, we don't think the device is going to work. We want to weaken that argument, so we're looking for something that would suggest the device might work, and again, stronger language is better. Answer choice E said, "The device did not kill all of the insects." The phrase "not all" is tantamount to the word "some," meaning it's incredibly soft and not a good reason. Additionally, answer choice E talks about insects, and we don't care about insects as a whole, we only care about mosquitoes. Answer choice D says the device killed mosquito-eating insects, which is a little irrelevant, but it also has this word "many," and "many" is usually too soft to be a good reason. The correct answer ends up being A in this case, and we say A has 2 important qualities. One, it's about mosquitoes, so it's relative to the argument, but it also has nice, strong language. There was a careful search, and they found no live mosquitoes. In other words, answer choice A says, yes, we only killed 12 mosquitoes, but we also killed all of them. Now, the strong language isn't the only reason answer choice A is correct. To get the weakens and strengthens questions answered correctly, we also have to be very good at spotting things like logical fallacies and suppressed premises that are discussed in other videos. But, as a rule, you can remember that when the question asks you to weaken or strengthen or help or undermine, stronger language is better.